chip, in a chip, because we can't buy anything. This is the lunacy, the madness, the mayhem, the hell of this kingdom of darkness that exists in this world, the spiritual darkness, which people from that kingdom of darkness, the kingdom of the devil, are expressing to us. And when we start to examine what they're saying, it is total chaos. Utter chaos. And they go round and they say, oh, you're going to get a chip. You're going to get a chip. Of course I'm going to get a chip. I don't mind having a chip. Just as long as salt and vinegar on it, I don't mind. Chips are fine. You know. And upon her forehead. Yeah. In other words, her mind is this. Mystery Babylon. Oh, mystery here, mystery there, mystery everywhere. Oh, the mystery of this system that feeds out into the world. And you see these articles that are published. Mystery. Mystery event. Mystery this. Ooh, mystery. Love a mystery. Oh, I love a mystery. There's a mystery film created here. A mystery play. You know, they've even got one now with the 7 crosses and all this fancy business. And people are going out even with a wooden cross or crossbeam, whatever you like to call it. Right? The mystery play. And of course in the Middle Ages the mystery play was everywhere. They bring a cross out like they do in certain towns and cities in this country even now. Copied it from the Middle Ages. Go around with the mystery play of the Passion of Christ. And they're always belittling Christ by this and showing what they would do with Christ if he came back. They're never exalting Christ. They're never accepting his exalted status. It's all a mystery. Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots. Oh, aye. The spirit of this woman has created many harlots. In fact, the mother of harlots. You can trace all false denominations, all false setups, and even setups that have become fallen. Governments that have fallen. Back to Rome. All roads lead back to Rome. This Rome. And abominations of the earth. And I saw the woman, verse 6, drunken with the blood of the saints. Drunken with the blood of the saints. Imperial Rome was drunken with the blood of the saints. Papal Rome is blood drunk with the blood of the saints, because she takes on, because she was born of the same. She has the same nature, the same condemnation. Everything that was Imperial Rome is Papal Rome. Everything. One and the same, and yet separated to show us that there are two beasts. One born of another. As she rides through this world. And she's always pointing back to the first beast by her practices. The beast that now has vanished. She's pointing back in the sense that she's reflecting Imperial Rome. Persecution of the saints. She's burnt her saint. She's burnt the saints, the Christians. The Christians of all sexes, both sexes, of all ages. Men, women and children. She is guilty. She is guilty. And note, I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints. Drunken. She's intoxicated with the blood of the saints. She can't get enough. She must persecute. She must have the saints of God, the children of God, disposed of out of this world. Disposed of because we are a thorn in her side. As long as we stand, we remain the thorn in her side. You will bow down to me, says this whore. And there are times when she's flexed her arm and come down with an iron fist and said, bow towards transubstantiation or you'll burn. You heretics. And the so-called heretics have burnt. Taken from the secular star chambers, because Rome is followed, this papal Rome is following imperial Rome and the Jews. The Jews brought to the secular judiciary establishment to do away with Jesus Christ, to murder the Lord of life, because they wouldn't do it themselves. And then they turn around and let his blood be on us and our children. They wouldn't do it. Papal Rome doesn't do it. Hand them over to the secular authorities. Anglicanism, one of her many daughters, did the same. Hand them over. Hand them over. We wash our hands of this. Aye, you're drunk. No, we're not. Yes, you are. You're drunk. And so are your daughters. But you're the chief drunkard. You just can't get enough of the blood of the saints. You're salivating. Right? And saturated in the blood of the saints. And another thing. You darn well know, Papal Rome, that you have persecuted, and you continue to persecute, in your own way, the saints of God. And you salivated and all the rest of it in the Middle Ages. You just cannot go and express what hell visibly came out of Papal Rome, as much as Islam in the Middle Ages, against the Christians. The thing about it is this also. Popery says, this alabaster figure here is a saint. Because we've canonised and so on and so forth. We've made a saint. Canonised, etc. St. Paul. All right. St. B&Q. St. Sainsbury's. St. Walmart. Here's a figurine, we've canonised them. There you are. There's your saint. So is Papal Rome going to kill him? Is she? I saw the woman drunken with the blood of the saints, so she's got to kill him. And with the blood of the martyrs of Jesus, those who went to the stake, those that were put into the arenas, because she's one and the same, you know, of imperial Rome. She's the same spirit of murder, and again she was born mother like daughter, daughter like mother, one and the same flesh, and one of the same spirit. And when I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. What? When I saw her, I wondered with great admiration. What's going on here? John, she's murdered the saints. And in this context, in the whole of the context of the scriptures that we're dealing with, it's in the future still. This is still being read out of the mind of God, of that which is written and settled in heaven. of the Word of God. John, what are you doing? That's what he's expressing what the world does. His own flesh, his own side. You see, John is not a God. He's not an Evan Davis. There's still a carnal side. There's an aspect with every one of us. And what's the carnal side in? He's wandering after the beast. He's absolutely taken by the beast. Wondered with great admiration. Wow! Look at this. Absolutely amazing. Aye, the pomp and the circumstance which the world gets taken up by is here. Absolutely here in John. And John is reflecting what the world does. Okay? Admiration. The world has popery and admiration. You can't say anything against popery. You're looked upon as mad, as beside yourself, if you tackle popery. Okay? And the angel said unto me, wherefore didst thou marvel? Verse 7. I will tell thee the mystery of the woman and of the beast that carrieth her, which hath the 7 heads and 10 horns. No other beast but this beast. It's not moved away. It's still the beast. And the beast, verse 8, the beast that thou sawest was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit. Alright? It comes out of the pit. It doesn't come from heaven. The worst of iniquities, the worst of iniquity, comes from the pit. And people have cried out in the past, that has come from the pit. That's from the pit. No more because of secularism. There's no more wickedness. Wickedness is now turned by secular minds into being a good thing. Oh, that's wicked. Far from it. Far from it. The beast that thou sawest was and is not, and shall ascend out of the bottomless pit. This is in reflection of Christ, who was not, and was, and did ascend, but out of heaven. And go into perdition. Well, you see, it comes from the pit and goes into perdition. You say, how can that be? Because if it's coming from the pit, it's naturally in perdition. No, what we're being naturally taught here, as much as anything else, is that the beast came out of the pit. Its origins were in the pit. It came into the world, and the world admired it, as John admired this woman. It was beautiful. It was a grandiose setup. What could be wrong with this? But behind it, it's come from the pit. It pervades itself to the world as being beautiful. And then one day, it's as though all of a sudden, overnight, the real face of what it is born of is shown. No more Mr. Nice Guy. No more good. It's gone into perdition. It shows its perdition. All of a sudden. It's like people. How many people and organisations in this world have started off grand and everybody's gone, oh, marvellous, oh, marvellous. Hey? And how many people have said, oh, he's standing up for us, he's standing up for us. And then all of a sudden one day, what? Why has he done that? Why has he gone down this road? Why did Ian Paisley, for one? I mean, he's a seminal picture of a person we can use, and because he makes himself an example. He's now gone to receive his reward below. One moment he's against Rome. Oh, and everybody's, yeah, right, yeah, and he's out and out against the establishment, IRA Sinn Féin, Papal Rome. Papal Rome is the Antichrist. Justification by faith is the only true justification. And he goes on and on and on and on for years and years and years. And then all of a sudden, he's gone into perdition. What happened? He's gone over to Rome. And he's no longer willing, when asked if he believes Rome is the Antichrist. He backs away. And he's in line with, he's shaking hands with murderers and despots and the like. He's on one with the British government. He's everything that he once was not. He's worse than the man in the cage in the interpreter's house. Who said, I am that which I once was not. He'd apostatized. And Paisley got even worse in the depths of apostasy. Went into perdition. You see, the Pope and his system is perdition. The son of perdition. Judas was of perdition. Demas was of perdition. And let me just say something here. For those who have yet to come up further, alright, in understanding how Christians should behave themselves, how we should think and behave ourselves. Outing people like this, Paisleys, Spurgeons, Tozers, etc., is what Christians do. It's what Christians do. If you haven't come to that level as yet, hopefully you will come to that level. Alright? Because, you see, when reading the scriptures, we are faced, are we not, with the outing of people, the Esau's of this world, marked out. God has declared them, and we speak of them. Neo-evangelicalism, the carnal side of man, the corrupt side of man, says, no, you shouldn't speak out. You shouldn't speak out. Well, that's speaking out against God. That's decrying God. Because God tells us, instructs us. Scriptures are not just for faith, but for practice. God lays down, our Maker lays down completely everything that we should be. And we should be declaring against others that are wicked, in order to show they're not only wicked to themselves, but to warn others, as we used to have with our parents of former days. Don't go with that rabble, don't go with that crowd. Johnny such and such is a wicked child, don't associate with him. We've lost all that now. Good instruction, sent down from above. Judgment, discernment, right thinking. It's going out the window. If Paul was around these days, he would be condemned for saying, wouldn't he, to the Christians, beware of Demas, beware. He was one that helped Paul establish churches, wasn't he? Established churches along with Paul. Paul, the Apostle Paul. Paul must have had his doubts, but being charitable, no doubt, just let him go. And then all of a sudden, Demas went. And Paul would warn others. Demas having departed. Oh, you can't say that, Paul! You can't say that, you're judging him! Demas has departed me, having loved this present world. You can't say that! In other words, what Paul is saying is beware, be careful, he's coming to you with my credentials. Oh, I worked with Paul, Apostle Paul. Yeah, he's a great man. Yeah, we did this and we did that and we did the other. We just like fell out like Barnabas and others. But he's a great man, and he would be living off the back of Paul, presenting himself before peoples, making money from peoples, just like Judas from peoples. And it goes on today. And people nowadays, they first of all start off with Christ. Oh, I'm associated with Christ, he's blessed me, or rather Jesus, Jesus, Jesus. Charlatans, a lot of them. So let us not accept, in the sense of being assured that a person is what he is because he says what he is, he's associated with what he is. Give him time. Let time have out. Let it speak. We don't reject everything out of hand. That would be wrong. But there are certain circumstances whereby we stand with caution. Caution. Thou sayest thou hast faith. Show me thy faith by thy works. Show me. Let's be careful. As we are careful with ourselves of what we say, what we think, what we do. And we chastise ourselves so often because we do that which is wrong. We are circumspect with ourselves, so we should be circumspect with others. It's a careful, narrow way that we're on. Being on a narrow way teaches us to be narrow with ourselves. Not narrow-minded. that we're not. We're very broad